To all our CCR TV viewers, a warm welcome. Goa is in a big festive mood, and this mood has been initiated by a big festival which is popularly known all over the world as Bonderam. Actually, it started with bandeiras. Bandeiras means flags in Portuguese. There are two festivals, two Bonderams, so as to say, and they are normally held in the month of August, and these are connected with the harvest season, which you will see the whole granary all over the state. And this is one of those festivals that brings all Diwar cars, because this is concerning the beautiful island of Diwar, where youth and elderly people participate, they mingle, they dance their hearts out to keep in tune with the spirit of the occasion. A very, very big festival. Some call them as a big Bonderam or old Bonderam. Some of them called as a small Bonderam. And these are two different places, but in this beautiful island of Diwar. The recently held, that was just 2 days ago, it's a big Bonderam, and that was held in Piedad. And we have their representative here of the organizers, and that was hosted by Piedad Youth Association, and we have Prasad Harmalkar with us. Prasad Bab, my magatso yo kartuka.
Thank you.
And dusra festival पळय हा जाता बोंदेरांचो, त्या आमी म्हणटा small Bonderam or ल्हान Bonderam, but that enthusiasm is something unique that you see, and that is from Malar and organized basically by St. Matthias Sports Club, and we have Mr. Ivo Azevedo, former president of St. Matthias Club. Baba Ivo, my magatso yo kartuka. आणि हे सगळें उंचोले पावंड्यार हाडपाक आमचो फेस्ताकार आहा, who is an expert now. I think he's involved in nearly 100 or so festivals that are being held in Goa, and none other than Marios Fernandez, who is from San Matthias.
Yes, thank you very much.
Welcome to you all.
Thank you.
There is a history connected with Bonderam. They say that this was the 39th year, I'm not very sure. So for the last 39 years is an ongoing process, and I'm sure it's gaining in popularity. And I was told that the last Bonderam what we had some days back, there were lots of tourists which were not seen in the earlier stages. Could you tell us how this started? Because they say people were fighting due to the land. Now also people are fighting. Yeah. Now there are and the outsiders now coming and taking over Goa, because they say Goa is too beautiful. And in those days also they were fighting, and this were happening during the time when Gaonkars were there. Then you had comunidades in Portuguese time, and then I believe the problem of land was sorted out. How was it, Mr. Ivo?
Yeah. Okay. I would like to start with the peculiar doubt which a Goan might have. It's always, I would cite an example. We had gone to the tourism department for getting our donation, and this question was posed to us: why two? Why not one Bonderam for a small village or small island like yours? I would say there were not two, there were three Bonderams once upon a time. Since there are three comunidades, Navili, Golti and San Matthias, there are three comunidades, and there were three Bonderams which was happening in the village.
The more the merrier.
More the merrier. So that's how there were people used to, the Bonderams which were held those years were very dear to us, especially I'm a senior citizen almost, and we used to enjoy it by walking in the street, marking our borders, and that's how Bonderams was fighting each other with the fortas. That was what Bonderam was all about. But then after the comunidades started dying down, simply because there was not much of income coming in, because people started abandoning their fields, which were owned by the Comunidades. So there was no much of income.
But can I interrupt you
Sure.
for a moment? These fields were cultivable. There were farmers who were growing rice.
Yes, of course.
In those days.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Yes.
Because nowadays it's a barren.
Yeah, there are barren. There are quite a few of them who still cultivate.
Yeah.
But then there were some fields which are owned by people,
Yeah.
and there were fields owned by the Comunidad.
Okay.
So Comunidadiचे शेत रोयता ताका ते they used to shidav फारीक करताले. So with that shidav, this they used to sell, and that dividend was given to the gaonkar. So different gaonkars. Now I'm actually from Samatias, as you said, but I'm gaonkar from Naveli, from this side of the village, because my ancestral house is there. So that's how things wish to move on. So my main doubt, which I want to clear for the people of Goa, why two? There were three, but there are two now.
Yeah. So there is a possibility there may be one sometime or the other.
No.
It's a question mark.
No. That we will not allow,
Yeah.
because we definitely want both the Bonderas to happen.
Yeah.
Because there is, right now it's not about rivalry. Earlier, once upon a time, there was rivalry.
So that rivalry of the fields is over.
Over.
No more.
Yeah.
And it was sorted out by these flags, by the Comunidad, by the Portuguese at that time.
Exactly.
And fields were cultivated.
Fields were cultivated, but this particular flags was not marked by the borders of the fields, the borders of the village.
Of the village. So that means there was a rivalry between or among the villagers.
Three borders were marked.
Yeah.
Naveli, Golti and Samatias.
So, Prasad Bab, the Bondera lawn, a rivalry born zali.
Rivalry, of course, rivalry born झाले. Rivalry in the sense, आमच्या भितर आता आम्ही उलयता आसतना among our friends or something, we still pose as rivals. Believe me. नाता कितें जाला? Golti and Naveli both come under Piedad, I'm saying Diwar village, and Samatayesh is alone on their own.
Basically, you have
so
got
now why two? Because we mark our borders. Diwar marks the borders with Malar. So that's what even I remember when I was about 10-12 years old, we used to go on the borders and they fatashi घेऊन वयताले, and we used to mark the borders, and you couldn't cross each other's border. आम्ही हे झालं तर मागीर फटाशांनी करता. Earlier it seems there used to be physical fights.
That means a villager from Malar
Absolutely
could not get into Piedad now, and somebody from Piedad could not get into. What was it? What was the
It
basic?
was that one day that Bonderam घेऊन वयताले, that pride used to be there to show my village. This is my village. You cannot come into my village, and that rivalry that time.
But today the entire
Absolutely.
world
Tomorrow
has
it is
become
changed.
one.
Today what has happened? Everything has changed. The generations have changed. As Ivo just said, it used to be also followed by the cutting of the first corn.
Yes.
What has happened is that nowadays is that farmers were still plowing the
But
fields.
are there farmers now?
Absolutely. I
Yes.
myself am a farmer. Let me
Okay.
proudly say that.
What do you cultivate now?
Rice.
So,
Right.
okay.
So we farmers are there. So next day what happens is that after this Bonderam, the Bonderam is there, was to, so as I have also said, to mark the borders. But now what has happened is that in 1984, the Piedad Youth Association, who was already a club sort of in Piedad since 1975, on 2nd of October 1975 was the inception, or rather started by late Father Eusebio Ferrand, and he was a parish priest that time, and he was our first president that time. And then in 1984, since the Comunidad had handed over, they had given it to organize for the Piedad Association.
So you have two Comunidades now.
Now there are still three Comunidades, but
okay.
actively the Bonderam is now totally out of the Comunidad, but it's organized by two clubs. One is Piedad Youth Association and Saint Matthias Sports Club.
And these festivities
Yes.
have undergone a tremendous change
It
from
has
then to now. And I think, Marius, you'll be in a better position to tell us how it has changed.
Yeah, so let me start. So I actually, my first Bonderam was 1975. We have just arrived from Kenya to Samatias. and within few weeks the Bonderam festival was happening. So I've got that in my head, how in those days that
What did you see at that
so
time?
in those days, Samathias, the whole village took part. It's not just like how today. Everybody was involved. I remember our school teachers involved, our relatives, cousins, and people were much fitter. We could walk in those days. I clearly remember these people walking around the whole village, carrying flags, the brass band, and everybody with the photos. So 1 week before we are getting ready with our fake guns, Asai and Tefawa with the fake guns made of bamboos. So the village were getting prepared for 1 week or
And this
10 days.
potash had to be made there and there.
We all
It is not available.
No. We all became experts. This is a normal thing in the village. We basically learned from our elders, and everybody would now go around looking for the best hollow bamboo in the village. Yeah. So just imagine this type of bonding is today in Diwar. That is because of the photos, but other things as well. Second thing, I just want to add quickly. So Samathiya Sports Club, I remember because my parents and grandparents were involved, was formed in 1967. Yeah, so we've been sort of involved from 1967 in that club, one of the oldest clubs in Goa. So we remember all these people involved, the villages involved, and now it's completely changed.
But still,
So-
I feel that villagers are still involved.
No.
Kiya munta to?
No.
Villagers are involved.
For the Bonderam, no?
Yes, for the Bonderam.
Yes, of course. Right now, Malachi Bonderam आमी म्हणटा आणि पियादाची Bonderam, they are आता पियादात Bonderam has grown bigger.
Yes.
ताका लागून ताका नांवूय पडलें व्हडली आनी धाकटी. एक्चुअली व्हडली धाकटी म्हणटा तिंचोरी केस्तांव जाता आमची. अरे तुमची व्हडली आमची धाकटी. Anyway, so व्हडली धाकटी we agree. Ours is held on a smaller scale. Piyadad Youth Association has it on a bigger scale, of course. But the locals are involved, of course.
So all locals are.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
this potash, does it exist now? Or
No,
it is-
so there's been a voluntary ban. A few years ago, we as Divadkas, Malatkas, we knew how to use the photos. Yeah, very clearly, there are flags there, and our ancestors told us, you have to aim at the flags. Later on, there were people started coming to the island from outside, and it's not their fault. They had no training, no YouTube to tell them what to do with that photos. So they started, hitting each other. It became dangerous. So there is a sort of voluntary ban on it, which is a good thing, but it needs to come back, because you see, if you ban things in Goa, you lose your history.
Yes.
So in other form, we have to bring it back. Probably we will do it. One other thing I've just got to add before I forget. Malar and Diwar Bondera, the kids and people from Malar are actually in Diwar Bondera. We take part in their Bonderas. And their people take part in our Bondera. So those days of rivalry is all history.
It's over. It's all over.
This is a bonding process, and it is fantastic that we have two Bonderas on an island. Every village in Goa should have their own Bondera. Fifth, I clearly know Raya has got the festival starting in
Yes,
Raya.
yes.
Sixth is in Salwa de Moon. I don't understand, it's only religious. Every village should have some festivities for the islanders.
Actually, wherever there is a church,
Yeah.
they're connected with.
Yeah, so every village in Goa, but they do not do what we do. And we see,
Maybe they now will come to you and
really,
learn from you.
Really.
It will be a fantastic
It
thing
is
if
actually-
every village has got its own.
It is actually a fantastic thing what's happening now.
Yes.
It's not only Bondera. What do we do? 1 month rehearsals are going on. We do our own costumes, prepare the floats, prepare ideas, choreograph. But most importantly, nobody's fighting.
I will just add a small thing on.
Yes, I will. Yes, I will.
Yeah, on Fortas. Fortas was one instrument we used to enjoy using.
Yeah,
Correct.
We used to get hurt. We used to love it. But I would accept Prasad
Yes.
hitting me. I would accept
If we
Mario
knew
hitting
each
me.
other.
But when the festival started spreading into the neighboring villages, and then the Fortas and a third person, Mr. X, comes and hits me,
Yeah.
then I wouldn't have
That's not
tolerated.
accepted.
Yeah.
That's not
So
accepted.
what happened was, we started losing the cream of people.
People coming.
Initially, when people started coming in, we used to get a nice crowd of people. So both the sides decided that we should ban the Fortas simply because we are losing the quality of crowd coming
People
in
coming in.
for the Bonderam. So when this particular decision was taken, and when the Bonderam started getting peaceful because there was no photos, the good type of people started coming in, and today it's a hit. If we had to continue with the photos, possibly it wouldn't have grown how it is grown today.
And just to add into it,
yes,
like
Prasad.
Ivo and Marius said, we still continue with our traditions. And let me be very frank with you. Although that we have continued, early morning we start that day with an alvorad around the village.
Yes.
Then in the evening, when the festivities start, actually the brass band is there traditionally. Then we have earlier we used to have that what do you say, that the fancy dress competition for kids as well as for adults, and people dress really nice. And because of that, what has happened is the tradition we have maintained. But what has we added something, as Mario said, there is involvement of everybody. Now what has happened, although it is affiliated more of to the church, but in Diwar you wouldn't know who's a Catholic and who's a Hindu.
Yes.
Let me be very frank, because everybody puts in their 100% into Bonderam. As Mario said, 1 month in advance, putting up your dance costumes, doing up the costumes, and it's not that easy. And I would rightly say that this is a festival of the whole village, because everybody contributes some way or the other to put up that float.
So that means every villager participates.
Absolutely.
To say that this is my festival.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not something imposed.
No. See, I can just say from our, because we were involved, we have at least 300 volunteers in our village.
From the village.
Yeah, this is Samat years, this year.
Young boys, girls,
Everybody,
elderly people, everybody.
everyone is involved. Grandmothers, grandfathers, everybody's talking about it.
Because that feeling that this is mine, this is ours.
Yeah. So
Is
that
there.
we do not want to lose. That's why I was saying we are not going to let it be one, because children are gaining. Our children gain this week and next week.
Yeah.
Their children are gaining. And the bonding is happening. That keeps our village together. We don't know about these fights when people talk. We are totally united in our
So
saving
it's
culture.
unique in
unique.
in a way.
Of course.
I can just tell you, I've just come back from London. I don't want to name the town. There's some Goans have arrived in one town, and within 6 months they've got 2 clubs and they're fighting each other. Yeah. So there's a division. But here, Diwar is actually leading the Goan culture, the whole world. Because I have got my own 78 festivals around Goa, and I know what's happening. Situation is serious. Nothing is happening but division. But this clubs is the example of how we can work
No,
together.
but this is bringing a big unity.
And as he said, it's a secular festival.
Yes.
Amazing what is going on, and it needs to be documented. It's not being documented properly.
Is it?
How this unity, and it's over a month, 2 months, and some people would are already getting ready for next year.
I think, Ivo, you have a big program, right? What Prasad said with Alvorad and all that. And you have also that Passei.
Yeah.
Could you elaborate on?
Yeah, so Passoi was started initially. Passoi was there, in the sense the flags would come and
But
mark our borders.
these flags are just color flags. Nothing to do with any
No.
national
Initially,
or state or any
initially,
flag. Yes.
initially there used to be the national flag and nation Portugal flag, and all different nations were there. But then after a while, there was in one of the meetings, we felt that we should respect the national flag, and we have to give the right respect. And this was not the right way it was used. So a decision was taken, I think, on either side of the village, and the practice of carrying the national flag was stopped. And then club flags plus different color flags were put up, and the flags march was held. And now you rightly said about Passoi. Marius was instrumental in starting the Bonderanchi Passoi. We did have, because see what happens is, as I was telling you, initially what our esters and how the festival was celebrated was exactly this was what it was. People used to come to the Kumnidar, brass band, fancy dress, hapulli nastali, sogli kadun, and everybody used to march, take the borders and come back to the Kumnidar building where it was, and finish it off there. So that was the Bonderam, what used to happen. But now, since as PYA took it to another level, St. Matthias Club also took it to another level, we thought of giving it the earlier twist, and we added Pasoi to our.
Now, Pasoi means you go through the entire,
Yeah.
all the wards of the.
No.
Ah.
So what we do is we make sure that Marius takes a group of people. He has got his clan. People come in, especially different colleges who have got a thing, and they come in. We what we do is we started near our church. The tolling of the bells, the blessing of the flags is done by the priest, and then it starts from there. And then we do go to all the borders, because this thing winds away through the all our houses. And what we do is we make sure we mark. We have got 4 wards. Every ward has got one house marked, which is sort of where they welcome this particular group which is coming in. We prepare Goan sweets, served to everybody.
They're traditional.
Yeah, traditional sweet.
Like, can you name some of the sweets?
This year we had
Won.
Latod, we had Wonnu, then we had Shovyo,
Patoyo anlo?
Patoyo Kuruna.
Last year.
Last year was Patoyo.
Okay.
Okay. So then these 4 things were done, and this year the attendance was almost around 200 people were marching with the flags, and all these people were served this delicious sweet, Sordni, Soglanje Ton God Kela.
Okay.
Yeah. So and then they wind their way right, and we gave them a time that they have to reach a particular time where, because the next program comes in, they cannot be delayed. So 2 o'clock was it start,
So
no?
basically, I get 2 hours to do this.
Yeah.
So 2 hours is your Pasoi.
Yeah,
So after
we-
Pasoi,
So one house from each ward, and different sweets, Goan heritage sweets. But extra things we do is we have plays, street plays. So at one stop we have a play about water this year, I think, and then one was about something else. So there are street plays that brings in the colleges and schools, because we need the young generation to know about our history. And importantly, 99% of the people who came with me, 200, 300, were not from Diwar.
is it?
Yeah. Because the Diwar cards at that moment are getting ready to be on their floats.
Yes.
They're getting ready to be on their processions.
Well, excellent planning, I must say. Excellent planning and superb execution.
Yeah, so what happens is all outside people, learned people come, a lot of them. And this year was very good, because straight away now, I mean, I will plug it. So next Sunday with most of these people, I'm having another fest. So in a place called Karamboli.
Karamboli,
yeah,
it's close by.
Yeah, Patoyanche fest. But it's going to be a rollover. Yeah.
Patoyanche.
But it's going to be a rollover from last week.
Yeah, in Salvador Dumund also, if I am not mistaken, there was
No,
one
I had
priest,
started them. I had started this many years ago,
Yeah.
2006.
The Patoyos should be something unique in Goan tradition.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was happened. But this now is colleges involved, schools involved, teachers involved. There are music, singers, dancers, gumots. Yeah, so this is something. Actually, we start Bonderam now this year from 11 in the morning. Yeah, with a workshop on millet. This year is the year of the millet.
Year of the millets. Yes.
So we got the Goa College of Agriculture involved this year. So they came and we invited the Diwar farmers. They formed a farmers club, and many other people. There were films and many things happened at 11 o'clock.
Okay, so the food part also is taken care of.
Yeah, 12 o'clock.
And Prasad Babu, do you also give an example of the Goan traditional foods?
Yes, it is basically cooked in every house.
Is it?
Yes, yes, it is every house. The youngsters are busy preparing the floats, whereas the older people are
elderly
preparing the elderly
Okay.
people.
So everyone
And-
is busy.
See, we are ready. People are
And the
coming to our
guests-
village.
Yes, and we have a lot of guests.
Yeah.
Every house has got guests for
People-
Bonderam.
Okay, okay.
Yes,
Coming.
after the lunch, then the floats, everything starts.
So lunch will be shitkodi and all.
Sheet
Yeah,
kodi
it will
and
be.
of course all the prads also.
Okay.
Different. Yeah, of course, of course.
That's-
that
that's
itself is a
something.
We
fest.
had in the St. Matthias Sports Club,
Yeah.
we did have Bonderam
Jawan.
Jawan also.
Jawan.
this year.
Bonderam se Jawan.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we this around 200 people which were there. We had all
Local
Hindu family which nicely prepared food with rose, mangane, so that type of food,
Yeah.
totally veg. A few non-veg were there, but then most of it was veg with all these
So
things.
it is one of the healthiest.
Healthiest.
yes.
People
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
Yeah.
People
So
enjoyed
basically,
it.
what he's saying, 11 o'clock we had workshops, 12 o'clock we had food, 2 o'clock we have pathway, 4 o'clock we start with these bonderas, and it goes till 10. So basically, it's a 10 to 10 festival.
Yes.
All day.
And they say, Prasad Bab,
Yes.
they say that yours is the bigger festival than Samata is.
Yes, it bigger in the sense.
What is so big about
See,
it?
what happens is that in Diwar we have 6 wards, and everybody considers. I'll tell you, our floats, if you must have seen them on TV and all, our floats are, I would say, much better than even your carnival floats.
Carnival floats is better not to discuss at all.
These are you will find
It has destroyed the Goan culture,
Yes.
and you have got drugs, you have got alcohol,
Yeah.
and what not.
Yes.
And all these festivals that the government has been bringing,
Yeah.
including our sunburn and all that,
Yes.
that has destroyed Goa
Absolutely,
and the
absolutely.
Goan culture.
Yeah.
But what we do is that our every float has got a theme.
Yes. Yes.
With either environment, either farming, or protection of your natural resources,
Yes.
or something or the other. Today, this
This
year,
is the need of the hour.
Absolutely.
That's
I
what we
must
do.
compliment both of you.
Yeah, yeah. No, that is what we are.
and you can imagine the 300 2 to 300 youths or rather people from the ward, every ward, coming over there and putting up that humongous float. It's not a joke. People have to be
Coordination.
prepared. The coordination is there, and as I said, as a secularism is
It's very-
utmost important in our
especially
floats.
nowadays.
In this
Nowadays,
festival.
it's very important that
Yes.
that bonds of unity,
Unity.
must be cemented,
Yeah.
because now there are forces from outside or maybe even here, and some of the politicians
Yeah.
who are trying to divide the Goans.
So one very quick thing, Prasad, especially Diwar and Malad, we have our own villages from across the world that come for the day.
Yeah.
They
Is
take
it?
their leave,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
from America, Canada, Australia. I was in Liverpool last month with some family, Pintos, and I saw them in this Bonderam. They especially came from Liverpool. My family especially comes from Bonderam.
And I was told that they would like to have a festival of Bondera in London.
Yeah, it's happening soon. Last
Yeah.
year they did a trial, and we have lots of people from Diwar, so it's an easy thing to do.
Will you be going?
No, because I've got my own festivals here, but they know what to do because they have
have
been
been
grown
They
up.
have.
They
They
will
are
on
grown
2nd
up.
September.
And the good thing is, Malar and Diwar together are going to do that Bonderam.
Is it?
Yeah, it is happening on 2nd of September. In fact, one of our who was supposed to accompany Freddy, he is gone over there. I mean, he is an artist by profession, and he is gone over there to prepare the floats over there.
Yes.
We don't know how it's going to be there, but we have to see kind of time. It's 2nd of October is just in a few
2nd
days more.
September.
Yeah,
2nd
September,
of
yeah.
September.
Both
So,
sides
yeah.
are involved.
Yeah.
Down there.
What is the difference between Malar and Piedad? Is there something different, or more or less they are
No,
the same?
as I was said, as you yourself said, is a small Bondera and a big Bondera, and that is on at a smaller scale because there are 4 wards are involved. Here there are 6 wards involved.
So 4 plus
yeah, plus 6, and it is at a bigger, higher magnitude is very high.
High.
The crowd also is very high. And what we have done of late, many years back, what we always wanted to, people always wanted to know when is Bondera. Just to always between the
Yeah,
3rd
yeah.
weekend. So we had already marked our Bondera, that the Piedad Association Bondera, on every 4th Saturday of August.
August.
So that's a date to remember.
Yeah, and
Now-
small, I think it is a third.
Third Saturday.
1 week before.
Earlier.
And
Yeah.
Yes. No, why that was done is that earlier we used to go by the dates, normal dates. But that helps each other. Like as Maria
No,
said,
no.
people from Diwar also participate there, people from Alar also participate in there, and that bond is there.
Yeah, and it helps people overseas because
Yeah.
people used to ring me and ask me when is the Bondera, and I was getting confused. I was never sure. But as Prasad said, now it's easy. Everybody knows.
Yeah.
So people plan from overseas when to come.
And those people would be witnessing both, or
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
that is
They
something
can-
great.
yeah.
Yes.
And do you have many people from Diwar abroad?
Quite a few.
Oh,
Quite a
yeah,
few, yes.
almost every
Quite a few.
house has got somebody
every house.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Marius, you have been organizing so many festivals.
Yeah.
What is the uniqueness of Bondera?
Yeah, so one thing whenever, so let's say I got one festival in Pilen, or I don't know, somewhere. There, I have to be there for 1 month to train the mindset of the people. People don't have culture in Goa. We have religious culture. This is voluntary work. The Bonderas, people are volunteering We don't have to tell people in Diwar how to dance, how to sing, how to act, how to do flows. We all know what to do.
Even how to cook also.
Everything, the skills are there, and really, I mean, Prasad and them, our village needs to have a special status for tourism. You know, when I say, because we have all the skills. Yeah, nothing has to be. We don't need training for anything. That is really unique. So if I go to Aldana, I struggle to do an event because they have got no skills. We have to teach them everything. Our island, we don't have to do. Yeah, so that is completely unique. I'm in Salsette at the moment because they want some festivals, but it's shocking, you know, heart of Goa that they're struggling. Yeah, they might have a singer, but to do this type of coordination, they don't have the skills.
And there is only one Mariasus. There are not many.
Yeah,
and,
I'm just saying.
And Prasad, you have done it now very recently. And I was told that a lot of tourists did come now, and people were not very happy with that number of tourists that you had for this festival.
What has happened is that since we are associated and we are being supported to a certain extent by the tourism department also, they also advertise at a level, at their level, and this is Bonderam is taken as the monsoon festival of Goa. By the way, we have got that title. At the monsoon festival of Goa is Bonderam. So once it is advertised, people know now. Since we have marked those dates, the third Saturday and fourth Saturday is the Piedad. So we have already people who plan their holiday during that. So that's how we have a lot of tourists also.
And people found it difficult to
yes, it was.
move from Panjim to Diwar because you have the ferry. And I believe hundreds of cars.
No. So that is an issue that we'll have to think in the future because the amount of people and the health and safety side.
Yes.
Yeah. So that now, I mean, the stakeholders will have to sit and decide. Because at least our village, you know, it's a straight road, so people can scatter on both sides. There's, you have a crossroad, so you know, all four sides people are coming in. So anything could happen in future, and you know, as many things in Goa, easy to ban, but you know, to keep things going is very difficult.
To keep things going on at this level in this manner is not an easy.
No. But as Prasad and they are saying,
Ivo and Prasad, how long do you take to plan? Because planning is the key for this. When do you start planning?
Our planning starts somewhere 2 months. At least the wards locally, they start 2 months. The club has to start at least around 4 months in advance.
4 months in advance.
Yeah, the club, because they have a huge task to accomplish, because there are a lot of planning. Then basically every night till around 9:30, 10, we are in the club getting things done. Every evening after work, we have to sit down, make sure, okay, everything is done one by one, okay, what is the next thing tomorrow? So when close to 1 month to the festival, almost every day evenings we are there till late at night.
So what I was basically saying, you need permissions, don't you?
Yeah.
Police, doctors, ambulances, somebody has to do it. We live on an island. If it was for us, we can do. Everything is from outside now. And we don't have a single window process for this festival. You know, government supporting, but that now needs to be thought.
But everybody supports you.
On the island.
Yes.
On the
island, yes.
Yeah, on the island, it's one Bonderam, you know. From
but even the government will be too happy.
Well, a single window, people have to run the last week to get these permissions from everywhere.
And I was told that these floats are unique, unlike the carnival.
Oh yes,
they said what is
the quality of the floats is unbelievable. And carnival is like, you know, people just gathering over there, a small crowd, a small group will come. Here the whole village, the whole ward comes. Everybody's thoughts. Now, as you asked me earlier, how long this planning takes. Where from the perspective of Piedad Youth Association, we start from the last week of May. Our first meeting happens in the last week of May, where is a plan. Then every week, the Sunday is a day, or maybe over a drink or something. But the planning starts that time, and everybody, then it is divided in the whole committee as to who is going to do what. The letter for permissions has to go to everybody. Letter for sponsors, we have to need some funds also from.
I was coming to that point. How do you manage in terms of finances?
I will.
Finances, like now, as I said, government, art and culture gives us a sizable amount. Tourism department gives us a sizable amount. Then we have a souvenir which we take, and of course people locally, and we send it abroad as well. So that gets us more funds, and then locally we have make sure we have got our own well-wishers who supports us. Hotels, this, that, our local industry, businessmen who are there, we approach them. So that's how we make sure. This year was a very good turnout, and people did give us generously. So we didn't have much of a problem about spending that money.
Big Bonderam would mean big money.
Big money.
Bigger
Yes,
than that.
as you may know, there are a lot of prominent businessmen from Diwar, and they of course contribute.
They must be feeling
yes,
happy.
yes, absolutely. And each and every Diwakar contributes. Let me be very
Is
clear.
it? Is
absolutely.
it? There is something
And-
unique.
yeah.
And
There
a
is
lot of
something
everyone.
unique.
Diwar
Everyone.
people contribute to our Bondera, and we contribute to theirs. It's not that we only do ours. So
And
there
moreover, to gain more funds, as I was said, souvenir is there. Then the raffles, the lottery tickets are there. There's only
But lots of effort.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
you have to.
and
You have to.
voluntary.
Otherwise, you won't get such a
Voluntary.
huge festival.
And that's the reason why you don't see this in other villages.
No, I mean voluntary, mainly big
No,
voluntary.
main thing what happens is that the unity counts over here. Unlike I have not seen this in other villages,
Yeah.
the unity that is in Diwar is something unique. You can't, as maybe there was rivalry years back, maybe, but today we are a one
You've
village.
forgotten all that.
Absolutely, we are a one village, and every, no matter if it's a Hindu, Muslim, in fact there are only one Muslim house in each village, but everybody, even those people, Hindus, Catholics,
But always
contributes.
Goa was known for this
Absolutely.
harmony
Yes,
and
yes,
unity,
yes.
especially between Hindus and Catholics.
Right.
One would participate in the
Yeah,
others'
yeah.
festivals
It's still on the
and
island.
all
Why
that.
participate
It's
in
only
it?
now. It's only now. Unfortunately,
Yes.
some of the politicians who are trying to divide for their ultimate gains.
Yes.
But I don't think they will score any
No, they will
brownie
not.
points in
They
Diwali.
tried.
in
They
Diwali.
tried
Diwali.
so far, but fortunately, it has not gone ahead.
As you were saying, in the olden days we used to fight, but with education, things have changed now. Everybody thinks for themselves, and people from our
It's
village.
more commercialization. It's all money.
Yeah.
So somebody gives the money to somebody, and they are ready to do anything.
Let me tell you again with money also. I'll tell you about Piedad Youth Association. We started, as I said, in 75. From 75, we are in 23. Without taking support from the government, let me be very frank, we have put up a huge clubhouse with 2 wooden floor badminton floors.
Is it?
Yes,
You-
that's
you
the
must be-
contribution.
you must be complimented for that.
Okay, all the Diwakars, of course, all the
Yeah,
Diwakars.
there's a
And
club.
every year, on the pretext of maybe Bonderam or some feast, some people some Diwakars who have been earlier members, who are now in the foreign countries, they always contribute. And this contribution has given us that youth. Today, every youth can go instead of going on bars and some nakes
Yeah.
to while away their time, they go into the
So-
club, play badminton, play table tennis,
That's-
everything. And
that's
we have wooden floors.
Yeah.
So it
Is
won't,
it?
won't
Is it?
harm you anybody.
Yeah. No, that's an important point. So they got a club. Samadhi
Yeah,
has got their own
Samadhi also
club.
has got a
Also,
Yeah,
Yeah,
also
yes,
club.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So what it
a
happens?
small village with so many facilities
Yeah, but
and
the thing-
amenities, I must say.
Yeah, but the 2 months the children are kept busy
Yeah.
preparing for this Bondera. Yeah, it doesn't happen in any other village, and every parent knows where their child is.
No, the uniqueness is that it brings harmony and unity amongst those who are living in the
Living in the
village.
village. Yeah.
Why can't you export all this to every village?
Yeah, no,
Marius,
I mean-
you have a big job.
No, we go and we take bits from our festivals everywhere, and mine is slightly different in that I don't need funding.
I
Yeah,
know.
Yeah, I don't take funding. So we can think for ourselves how to do it differently. But we take a bit of our culture everywhere we go. We take Diwar everywhere we travel around. And we give an example of how our people volunteer.
Now, since this is being now exported, maybe in the next year, would you invite the groups from abroad who are from Diwar to also participate and add a new dimension?
These are actually people from Diwar who are participating there.
So bring them back.
They'll come back.
They'll come back to their roots. Sir. Of
They
course,
come
they will
back.
come back
Yeah,
to their
because
roots.
it is coming to their roots.
No, they come back, and when they come, they take part in the group.
Yes, they must.
Yes.
They must.
They come to the particular because they will belong to one ward or the other.
Okay.
So they will come into their own wards.
Okay.
Yeah.
The flight
this
that-
year also they did come. Some of them who had gone abroad and all, when they came, they did join us.
I arrived on the week before up on there, and on the flight were so many people from Diwar
Is it?
coming back
Coming.
to be in their float,
In fact-
their groups.
So they have not forgotten their.
No,
their
no. In
mother.
fact,
one-
people who are abroad, they plan their holidays, their annual holidays during Bonderam time.
That's
So,
pretty
but not only
nice.
these two festivals, we got another unique festival, perhaps nowhere in the world, called Patakar.
Patakar,
It's happening on our island.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying, so we have many things that are keeping us together and keeping us busy.
Unique
Yeah.
festival.
Unique
These are
Exactly.
unique.
Yes.
Nowhere they have it.
So what is the next now for Marius?
No, so my next festival is on the 3rd of September called Patoyanje Fest, and it's going to be held in Karamboli. And that's with the Goa College of Agriculture, because we want to actually do something about millets.
Yeah.
The college is going to grow 4 acres of millets this year.
Is it?
Yeah, for the first time. And there are 9 or 10 types of millets in India. And as the United Nations has said, that is the food of the future. It needs less water. Yeah. And it's one of the super crops of the world with no gluten and that. So that's coming. And then soon, probably in Pilan, we are going to have something called the Matieche Fest, 2nd October. And so on. Every month, there'll be one festival or the other.
So now that the two festivals have been a grand success, you are taking rest.
That's
Yes, of course. Of course.
No, but
Everybody
he
is
doesn't
taking-
take rest. They are busy because he's into farming,
He was
lots
he
of
was
work.
telling me
That's a
that.
huge
Lots of
struggle. Yeah, I was busy.
But a lot of farmers now are coming back and plowing their fields, and rice cultivation is increasing.
It is increasing. See, what happens that everybody had got a notion that it is no, it is not making. Believe me, the moment you step into the field, you can't be standing on the road and telling people to do work. You have to step into the field,
Yes.
and it's definitely a profitable business.
Yes.
It is nothing to lose
Because what I know in Shishini, in Navili, fellow lands, Father
Yes.
George Quadros, who is
Yes.
there,
Yes,
he
correct.
has already got so many people
transform.
back to do
See,
the rice cultivation.
follow lands are because of a certain reason. It is like there is a certain limit which a farmer can sustain. Then I'll tell you, this is not a forum to discuss it, but we can definitely discuss on a different forum altogether. We need proper cooperation from the government for this. See, at this point of time, our lands are under this, what you call that, the revenue department.
Yes,
with,
yes.
with the comunidad. But I think that should have been handed over to agriculture department, and then going forward, lot of people will get, because you have to, today labor is a question mark, big
Yes,
question mark.
yes.
So, but machinery is there.
Yeah, it's available.
Absolutely available.
Father George Quadros has
Yes,
gone into
yes,
mechanical
yes.
cultivation,
cultivations.
and has been a grand success.
Yes, it is.
And I'm sure they will
We
come and help
have
you.
we have his students now coming and doing the
Okay,
transplanting
okay.
in Diwar.
Yes,
For the
yes.
last 2 years, over the last 2 years, we've been
Yeah,
doing-
basically, Bonderam is connected with harvest.
Absolutely.
And it's a rice.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's a
next day,
ready-
because soon after the Bonderam, next day there is the mass, the festive mass,
Yeah.
and then the priest goes down to cut the
Yeah,
first.
That's what I remember the priest in Mandur said.
Yeah.
This is connected with the paddy,
Yeah.
and you are not growing in Mandur. And he says we should not have this festival
Yeah.
because you are not growing.
Yeah.
Either you grow
Yeah.
and we have the festival.
And let me tell you, in our village, that used to be the situation, what precisely
Yes.
father said for them.
Yeah.
But over the years, we've been growing. In fact, this year at least 300 people have come out and started growing the fields,
Yeah,
because
there's
the
been-
mechanism is come.
Yeah, revival of farming is happening.
Happening.
Yes.
It is happening.
Prasad, you have enlightened us on your Bonderam, so also Ivo, and Marius, you have given a different color, and I'm sure you'll add more color, because these celebrations and feasts also foster a sense of oneness amongst Goans in Goa and across the globe. And certain people are coming now, as you said, you met them in your plane, and ultimately we all know that our roots are embedded in Amchi Goinchi Tamdi Mati.
Yes.
Let's all hold hands together and inspire and pass on these values to our children. Of tomorrow, our future has our Amchi Burgi, Amcha Fudar. And I'm glad in both the festivals you have got the youngsters, you have got the youth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And it's nice that they come on their own
Yes.
and they don't grumble, I'm sorry.
Never,
No,
never,
way,
And
definitely.
they're always happy.
Happy, happy, of course.
They are looking forward now.
That's it,
They're
that's it.
looking forward.
I must compliment the Diwar cards, both of you, because this harmony and sharing is all the more important in this day and age when one sees much acrimony, hate and animosity being fueled by self-centered and self-seeking leaders. Local people, Diwakars, irrespective of caste, creed, religion, social class, exchange and share their affection and joys with each other. May God bless all of you. You are doing a wonderful work because this brings about unity. Prasad Bab, thank you very much for
Thank
being
you
with
very
us.
much.
I will also.
My pleasure.
Manos, we will meet because
Yes.
you are every day. I think you have got one festival, if I'm not
Thank you so
mistaken.
much.
Dev Bore Karo,
Thank you.
Sauglan Tumka.
Thank you.
To Kai.